All right, we have lesson 8, the last lesson for chapter 2. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about financial literacy or simple interest. Go back to the essential question: how can percent help you understand situations involving money? Now it comes full circle. This whole lesson will be all about money in terms of when you borrow money or when you deposit money, and how interest can help you, and how interest is related when you're borrowing money or you're depositing money. Okay, so as we scan this lesson, there are two things that probably we'll be learning here. The first thing is how to use simple interest formula. So there will be a formula, of course. And the second thing is how to find interest on loans and credit cards. And this is very applicable to your parents because I am assuming that for most of your parents, they are involved with loans and credit cards, and simple interest tells you how much they need to pay after borrowing money, okay, or using their credit card. So let's take a look at this vocabulary. Startup principal is the amount of money deposited or borrowed. So when you hear the word principal, it is the amount of money deposited or borrowed, okay? Simple interest is the amount paid or earned for the use of the money. Okay, so a good example is that when you put money in the bank, okay, the bank uh, takes your money but uses it and invests it somewhere else. So basically, the bank is paying you interest as you leave your money in their care. Okay, so as you leave your money in the with the bank actually pays you additional for leaving your money with them. Okay, so let's the simple interest formula is shown below. Okay, this is the simple interest formula. Fill in the diagram using the correct words from the word bank. This is our word bank: interest, principal, rate, and time. And obviously, just by the letters, we know that I stands for interest. Okay, P stands for principal, which is the money deposited or borrowed. R stands for rate, which is the percent. Okay, and T stands for time. So when you talk about time, it's always in years. Okay, time is always counted in years. So let's see how this formula is applied to this real world link. Mrs. Ramirez is investing $400 in savings account at a simple interest rate of 2% to purchase a laptop computer. She plans on investing the money for 18 months. Based on this real world situation, fill in the blanks with the correct numbers. Write the rate as a decimal. Time is expressed in years. So this is one of the things that you need to remember, that time is expressed in years. Okay? And 18 months is expressed in months. So we need to consider converting 18 months into years. Okay? So, but first things first, principal again is the amount of money that you borrow or that you deposit. So in this case, that will be $400 because that's the one that you are investing. So principal here is $400. The rate is the percent, okay, or the interest by which will be applied to that money that you deposit. So here's our rate right here, 2%. Rate is 2%. And always, okay, just as a precursor to what you're going to be learning in the future, okay, in the next few minutes. So rate is always expressed as a decimal, so this is 0.02. And time, since 18 months, okay, one way of making this into years is put it 18 over 12. Okay, 18 over 12 in simplest form is uh, is going to be 3 over 2. Okay, so it's 3 over 2. Or 1 and 1/2 as a mixed number. So time here is 1 and 1/2 years. As a decimal, 1 and 1/2 is the same as 1.5. So you can also write down time as 1.5 years. So that's how you write your 18 months. Okay? Let's take a look at the concept now. Let's take a look at simple interest formula and let's see the definition of simple interest in words. Simple interest I is the product of the principal P, the annual interest R, and the time T expressed in years. Or simply put, the formula is I equals PRT, principal times rate times time. Okay? So again, if you have any savings account, the bank pays you interest for the use of your money. Okay? You want to use the formula again, I equals PRT, to find the amount of interest that will be earned. Again, PRT means principal times rate times time. Okay? Let's take a look at example number 1, see how this works. Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. The account pays 3% simple interest. How much interest will he earn in each amount of time? So let's say if he leaves his money for 5 years, how much will he earn for number 1? Again, first things first, always write down the formula. I equals PRT, principal times rate times time. And if you notice, principal is in red, rate is in blue, time is in green. Look very carefully as we substitute the values for P, 580, which is this one right here. Okay, rate is 3%, which is as a decimal 0.3, and time is 5 years in green, that's going to be 5 over there. Okay, so in this case, Arnold, I is equal to 87, so Arnold will earn $87 in 5 years. Okay, how about for 6 months? How much will Arnold save or earn in 6 months? Okay, again, if we look at 6 months, 6 months is actually 6 over 12 or half a year. And that's what you have here. 6 months is 6 over 12 or zero point 0.5, okay, as a decimal. So again, we write down the formula for interest, which is PRT, and then we start substituting the values. The principal does not change. It remains at 580. The rate does not change. The time does, however. Instead of 5 years, it becomes half a year, which is zero point 0.5. Multiply all of them, okay? I will be equal to 8.7. So Arnold will earn $8.70 in interest in 6 months. Okay, so that is for 6 months. Do the guided problems and let's see if you understand examples 1 and 2. Let's take a look at interest on loans and credit cards. So in this particular concept right here, very much similar to uh, what we've been learning when you talk about loans and credit cards. So if you borrow money, okay, from a bank, you pay the bank interest for the use of their money. Okay, and that's the concept of applying for a loan. So when you get a loan, you're actually using the bank's money. So in return, you are going to pay interest for the money that you borrowed from them. Okay, you also pay interest to a credit card company if you have unpaid balance. So the reason why you use your credit card company is you can buy bigger items, okay, without using your own money. But the return for that is that you need to pay an interest for the amount of money that you used for your credit card. Again, we are using the formula for I equals PRT to find the amount of interest owed. Take a look at example number 3 and see how this works. Rondell's parents borrowed $6,300 from the bank for a new car. Okay, the interest rate is 6% per year. How much simple interest will they pay if it takes 2 years to repay the loan? Okay, again, first things first, we write down the formula I equals PRT, principal times rate times time. And we know that this 6,300 is our principal. Our rate is 6%. And since we have 2 years here, that'll be our time. So substituting the values, we have 6,300 times 0.6, 0.06 times 2. Punch that in the calculator, you end up with I equals 756. So Rondel's parents will pay $756 in interest in 2 years. Okay, let's take a look at example number 4. Derek's dad, okay, bought new tires for $900 using a credit card. That's why I use a credit card, because you use a credit card if you don't have the money at hand. So here dad bought new tires for $900 with a credit card. His card has an interest rate of around 19%. So if he has no other charges on his card and does not make a payment, how much money will he owe after 1 month? Remember, this is the key word right here, 1 month. Okay? And if you notice, there are 12 months in a year. So 1 month out of the year will be 1 out of 12. Okay? And you'll see where this comes in. So first, again, write down the formula interest equals PRT. Okay? And then we substitute. This is our principal. That's our principal. Okay? Our rate is 19%. And our time is 1 month, which is 1 over 12. Knowing that, we substitute the values 900 times 0.19, the decimal of 19%, times 1 over 12. Again, using a calculator, you can either convert 1 over 12 as a decimal, or you can multiply 900 times 0.19 times 1 and then divide it by 12. Okay? So if you do that using a calculator, you end up with I equals 14.25. So the interest owed after a month, this is just after a month, okay, is $14.25. So that's the interest owed after a month, okay? If he wants to pay it off after a month, okay, the total would be then 900 plus 14.25, or $914.25. Let's say Derek's dad had enough money to pay the loan now. So at the end of 1 month, this is how much Derek's dad would be paying the credit card company. Okay? Do got it, problem C and D, and let's see if you understand examples 3 and 4. And finally, example number 5, Luis is taking a car loan for $5,000. So he plans on paying off the car in 2 years. Okay, at the end of 2 years, Luis will have paid $300 interest. What is the simple interest rate on the car loan? Again, if you look at what we have here, okay, we're not looking for the interest this time because we know what the interest is. We know that the interest, okay, is $300 because it says Luis will have paid $300 in interest. So if you look at our formula again, I equals PRT, we're not looking for interest. We are looking for the rate. We're looking for R. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So we substitute the values that we have. We know that our interest is given as 300. Okay. We know that the principal is 5,000. We know that the rate, okay, is, the time is 2 years. We don't know what the rate is. If we multiply 5,000 times 2, we end up with 10,000. Okay, so this now becomes, multiply that, you end up with 10,000 R equals 300. Okay, and to be able for us to solve uh, the value for R, okay, we divide both sides by 10,000. So this cancels out, and 300 over 10,000 will give you a value of 0.03, and multiply that by 100, or move the decimal place 2 spaces to the right, which will make it into a percent. So this now becomes 3%. So the simple interest rate is 0.03 or 3%. So that's how much, that's how what the rate was when Luis, okay, made a car loan when and he paid $300 in interest. Okay, so do the last got it problem, and let's see if you understand example number 5. And that's the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching.